it's Liana, and today is day 53 of my Summer Slim Down Challenge. I'm actually combining day 52 and day 53 together. Yesterday was so extremely busy for me, and that happens sometimes, right? So I'm just gonna go ahead and combine them both together, and we're just gonna rock it out today. So today's question is actually about how I help with hunger pains. Is it pangs or pains? Who cares? How I help with that feeling of being hungry. And for this, I would just like to say, I've heard people in my time of weight loss say, and that has been over 10 years, I've heard people say to embrace that feeling of hunger. And I've never really understood what that meant because I personally do not like to feel hungry, like at all. I don't like it. Even though I may be a little bit hungry, I feel like I'm starving. So it has never really been my biggest strength, I guess, to embrace that feeling of hunger up until more recently, which is totally crazy. Again, this whole journey is just totally different than any other thing that I've ever done before. But I have been kind of living on the line of like, I'm hungry, but I could wait, but I'm hungry, but I could wait. And it has been a really steady, like, I have been embracing that feeling of, I'm hungry. But I would say that what I do when that happens, before I just go and decide to start stuffing my face with a whole bunch of food, is I test it out with water first. So I'll drink a little bit of water, and I think I drank maybe like 8 to 10 ounces or something like that. And if I'm still feeling hungry after that, then I go to carbonated water, which is, I've been drinking LaRue. I don't even know if that's how you say it, but I've been drinking this water. And so that has a little bit of a flavor to it, and it's got that carbonation, so it kind of gives my stomach a different feel. So if I drink the water and I'm still feeling hungry, but I know it's probably not really time for me to eat, then I go to the carbonated water and I'll drink that. And if I still feel hungry after that, then at that point I go ahead and I eat something. But I don't just go ahead and sit down and eat like a meal or something like that. I will just have a snack of like cucumber slices, or I've got a whole bunch of cherry and grape tomatoes growing out in my garden, but I used to keep those in my refrigerator anyway all the time, so then I'll eat a couple of those. And normally that does it. That's all that I need until I need to move to my next meal. But that is pretty much how I keep that under control. I start with water, then I go to something flavored with carbonation, then I will actually go to a vegetable snack. And then at that point, meals. So that's kind of how I keep that under check. I've heard people having like a small handful of almonds and stuff like that. I don't count calories or anything like that, but I do know that if you're eating too many nuts, like a handful can turn into like 150 calories if you're not careful. So I just try to stick to things that I know are lower in calories, but that are bulky, so they will fill my stomach. So I always feel really comfortable with like the carrots and tomatoes and stuff like that. So that's what I do. I don't know if you do something different that works for you. Definitely share it, because this is a community, and so it's nice. What works for me may not necessarily work for the next person. But I have, like I said, been living on that line of being hungry but not feeling like I'm starving, and it's a good place to be because it helps me feel light all day. I don't feel like I'm bogged down by a whole bunch of food, and the meals that I eat anyway are not heavy foods. I do feel full after I eat most of them. Some of them I can't even get all the way through, and I'll save some of the meal for snacking later. but I have really been learning how to train my mind to eat when I feel not hungry, but when I feel that next level of hunger. So I've been training my body to eat when it is at that next level of hunger and to stop when I feel full, which is totally crazy to think about because it's crazy easy, but so hard. I mean, so many times these different places that people go to, want to lose weight, they put you on like, all right, you need to eat every 2 hours, you need it, which is a good like kind of mental thing. If you're somebody that just goes the entire day and doesn't eat, yeah, it might be good for you to maybe kind of plan out every couple of hours. But for me, I've just been kind of learning. I started with the every 2 to 3 hours, and now I've just kind of been learning to listen to my body. So when I'm feeling that next level of hunger, I know that it's time to get something to eat. And sometimes I've even gone to the point to where I'm starting to feel weak. Or maybe my mind is hazy. Maybe I'm doing a whole bunch and I don't want to stop what I'm doing. And so I get to, that third level of hunger, which is where you start to feel a little hazy, like, I need something to eat. And so then I will absolutely make sure that I'm eating at that point and making sure that I'm getting a nice, good, bulky meal. I've also been eating a lot slower too, trying to make sure that my meals last about 15 minutes, even my snacks. I've been trying to make sure that I am like grazing on them so that they'll last longer. Because if you can wait till about 15 minutes, that's when your brain finally starts signaling to your stomach that it has food in it. So the longer that you can pull that meal out, you'll naturally actually start to eat a little bit less than you probably would normally. So if you can string the meal out 15 to 20 minutes, make sure you're chewing it really well, stopping in between, picking something up to put it in your mouth and you know what I mean, and doing something else and then picking it up and putting it in your mouth. Just try and make a game of it. Try and make it last as long as possible, because that's another thing that, people that are trying to gain weight eat really fast within that 15 minutes, so they can get as much food in as possible before their mind says that they are full. But if you're trying to lose weight, then you need to do the opposite of that. So those are my tricks and tips. That's all I have for you today, and I hope you have a great day.